Hello everyone and welcome to today's Stocks and Crypto YouTube Charts video. I am No FOMO Charts. Today is Friday, June 19, 2026. It's after 9 o'clock p.m. Eastern Standard Time here in the USA. Welcome everyone. This is a swing trading and investing YouTube Charts channel and video. Next week, we have stock earnings releases coming out from companies such as Carnival Cruise, FedEx, Micron, and BlackBerry. Economic data, we have manufacturing and services PMI, core PCE price index, final GDP, and unemployment claims, as well as consumer sentiment and inflation expectations. This past week, the USA FOMC and the new Fed chairman held interest rates steady this past week. Globally, the official USA-Iran-Israel peace signings are still ongoing. Anthropic AI and OpenAI both filed for IPOs later this year. NVIDIA signed a data center operator deal with Iran, and Intel will partner with Apple for USA chip design. Big moves in the market. So, SPY, S&P 500 ETF, potential lower high I'm seeing on this daily chart, meaning lower low, lower high. So what I was saying last week is we must clear and break out above 756 or 758 to be exact, that range to continue the uptrend. If we actually do not rally in the price, that is actually a problem. So the downside supports right now are 731 and 722 on the downside. I'll mark it in blue. This is the range that we're playing in right now in S&P 500 ETF. I'm not going to go too much into indicators to save time. It's just keep it simple. Is we were in an uptrend and now we're starting to go sideways in that consolidation. So until we break out or break down below, support would be 722 and resistance 760. Those are the two levels. NASDAQ, we had a nice bounce. However, NASDAQ QQQ ETF is very similar. Resistance 747. Middle term medium support 721. Very low emergency support 693. So we're in a little small mini uptrend. We were in the longer term uptrend with some AI sell-off. So big numbers, resistance 750, support 687. And until we clear that resistance, it might not be a breakout. I mean, I can see in the market that the AI companies, they're trying to continue to release good news and events, try to keep pushing the price higher. But when we get to SMH and DRAM, we'll see we're at all-time highs right now, essentially zone. DIA, Dow Jones ETF. This week is not over, but if we look at the weekly chart, it could be a shooting star. We have to see in the official Sunday, Monday, see if that's actually going to sell off or not. But that resistance in 520. Support, medium term 506, big psychological support at 500. And so it's not really extreme. It was supposed to go upper 550s to be really extreme, but the Bollinger Band in that second deviation did poke out to the upside. So if it's going to pull back, it could pull back to 510. If it's really oversold, it has to get to the 490 range. Let's go to IWM. Very similar. We hit that resistance weekly hammer candle, potentially. Resistance 297, support 289, 280. Even one more down here, 270. That's what we're doing right now in terms of the levels. Put up a support line, resistance line on top. You can see we're in that rising wedge pattern. If we're going to pull back down one more time, probably around 286 might be my buy entry. Let's do gold and everything else faster. So gold is in a downtrend, this ETF, lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high. So lower low. I'm not going to try to predict too much, just the fact that we're in the downtrend now. 2025 to the 2026 high. You can see the areas of value down here in the 50% 618 retrace would be 368 and 334. And that would match that Bollinger Band linear regression lower zone of where I want to enter. Silver is similar as well. I actually just highlighted it from last time. If we have any breakdown into the lower $50 range, 49, 45, that could be a big oversold long buying opportunity, in my opinion. So we'll see if this downtrend is going to continue or not. US oil, wow, hit that target perfectly. The 115, we'll bring up the EMAs here. In the downtrend, due to the peace signings, oil ETF. So we could see lower low, lower high, lower low. It may or may not make a lower high because this is fundamental news based. But the next level down I'm looking for is 110, 103, and 95. Personally, I'm just hands off with oil because historically they do not respond to technicals well. I'm just marking levels. I believe AI stocks are probably the better trades right now. UNG, natural gas, still in this little mini uptrend. Natural gas is really trying very hard to ride this uptrend here. So I traded it and I'm out for now. But if it's going to try to break out to the upside, 1250 could be that target. The support it needs to hold is 1110. 1109, let's say, or just $11 psychological. We'll put it there. $11 psychological. Okay, let's go to SMH. So this is what I'm saying. SMH all-time highs, still in the uptrend. And this is how I'm going to play SMH until I see either an extreme rally, like a shooting star, extreme shooting star, a double top, a head and shoulders pattern, up in the sky, up in space. It's probably just going to continue to ride intraday pullbacks, meaning intraday oversold, intraday MACD momentum, which I'll highlight here, squeeze, stochastic oversold because long strategies and algorithms are on right now. So I'm thinking in the mentality of a trader. If someone's thinking as an investor, some of this actually doesn't really matter that much in terms of just a little red pullback, because what matters is, are institutions and algorithms going to keep buying the dips? And for the past 3 months, the answer to that was yes. So we're going to see how extended can we get before it's extreme. Because some people, it's already getting extreme, but like I was saying last time, it needs to get extreme on almost every time frame. So it's only extreme on monthly, weekly, but on daily and 4 hour, 1 hour, it's not extreme, meaning it has to get up to 750 range for it to be some kind of V-shaped reversal, rally and reversal like that. DRAM. Initially, I bought this dip. I was surprised. I actually bought the perfect bottom dip. Is great. Rallying up here. And if there's not that much information on like ETF or an IPO, we'll get into SPCX, for example, but for DRAM, sometimes the EMAs don't have enough information, so I have to go intraday. If that's too much work or too confusing, sometimes I'll just use an indicator called super trend, or I'll just use my shorter term moving averages. These are 12 and 26. These are 12 and 26 EMAs. If there's nothing, or sometimes I'll use the 8 and 21. Very similar colors, or super trend. So in this case, the green super trend for daily is up. The 4 hours green super trend 1 hour super trend. It just helps me confirm, is it uptrending or downtrending? If I'm looking at a lot of charts and I'm tired, then I just use super trend or EMAs just to help me visually. That's what I think indicators should be. It's more like a tool. It's not the final answer. It's just a tool to help me make decisions. So are we extremely overbought? Not extremely. On the daily, it needs to probably poke out again to above 80, which means we have to have one more rally attempt. And usually when I see a shooting star or like a consolidation, it's just not happening yet, even though this is a little mini shooting star. But I think we're probably going to get some kind of extreme and then a pullback down. That's what I'm thinking. Also, we could use Fibonacci here. I'm spending more time because this is one of the more important AI stocks. I could use like a Fibonacci extension from the start to maybe this big low to the second low. So then the 1272 is $82, 1618 is 90, and then a full double Fibonacci retrace is 100. I think those are reasonable targets. We just broke through 75. So then next psychological 80, 85, 90, and if it gets to 100, maybe it's up there. But it's all about that extreme price action and the volume. I'm going to skip some of the memory stocks like SNDK, etc., because it's really correlated with DRAM. So let's just go to SpaceX. SpaceX, okay, unfortunately, I'm going to remove all my drawings. Unfortunately, this happens with IPOs. It's only been 5 days, business days. So we had the 1, 2, 3 on the daily up, and then shooting star, some market sell-off, and then we have a hammer here. So it's not completely over for SpaceX. I'm just going to Fibonacci the low to high candle body wicks, floating around that 50% retrace around 180. I believe there's value at 160, 150 range. And we use an anchored VWAP to figure that out. So we're actually around the 4-hour anchored VWAP right now, 180. So if we don't recover and bounce from here, then I think we're kind of in trouble in the IPO. Personally, as a trader, I already sold, right? If I just bought in, then I just exited because I'm not really an IPO investor or trader. I need to see patterns on daily charts. I'm not really an intraday IPO trader or investor based upon IPO. If I was an investor, I would just buy and then not even care about the price for 10 or 20 years from now. That's another strategy I might execute once the price, if it gets lower. I think SpaceX really does have future, but this is just my personal opinion as a side note. If it IPO launched and it became a top 5 or top 10 market valuation $1 trillion company, it just straight up IPO'd into trillions of dollars. So, where's the upside from here? That's what I'm wondering as a trader. But I can understand and I can foresee that, all right, 10 or 20 years from now, once we start building those even more rockets and moon base, maybe even space tourism, right? That's etc. Starlink and more of that, then the valuation might go up more. It's just we're launching into the most expensive stock market of all time. That's why for me, I'm being cautious right now, not just on SpaceX, but on everything, memory. That's why I'm not pushing it on to people so much. Although on the memory chips like SNDK, there is that supply demand problem and the chips and some memory and RAM has been sold out on the enterprise side for like 1 or 2 years. So this makes sense why this is in a nonstop uptrend. Also, if I use super trend, right, on a weekly or something, it's still in a massive green super trend. So that's why I'm not really telling people to sell or panic. I'm doing my own strategies. But if it's in the green, right, just let it ride until it gets really, really extreme up there and then maybe put a stop loss or something. That's me thinking as a trader. All right, let's go to crypto and then we'll end. Interesting. We need to make sure total we're on the correct total market cap. Now there's a total transport systems on the New York Stock Exchange. So you need to be very careful now that we're looking at total crypto cap. TOTAL. Unfortunately, we're still in this downtrend. Lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low. It should get extreme down here, but I think because of AI, it's holding. We're in this downtrend. Rejected right below the 20 EMA. I actually played that. I just bought here and then I sold. Bought and sold because I'm a trader. I like to see. I play swings. I play portions. I need to see a stronger pattern. I would like to see like a double bottom or upside down head and shoulders. Then maybe I'll all in there. I just played a portion and I made profit and I'm out. Because once I believed and saw that, all right, crypto's losing momentum, everyone's rotating into AI, I'm playing less aggressive trades in the crypto space. I should be actually playing more aggressive trades in the AI space, AI stocks. So if I were forced to take a long trade right now, we could see that super trend at 2 ATR below would be about 3% down on this total chart. Let's go to Bitcoin. Bitcoin Bitstamp, very similar here. I'll bring up that same risk reward ratio. It's very close. It's only a 2.2% stop loss, or maybe if someone's brave, 4.5%, and a 6% target, 5% target. If we hold here, it's actually good. Where's here? We have to hold above 61,500. If we actually hold above that, there's a chance here we could higher high this. Once we break below it, then I'll know maybe my original bearish idea was correct, that if it keeps going down, I'm still interested in $50,000 and $45,000 Bitcoin personally. I'm bringing that target into my mind because if I Fibonacci from the 2022 low up to 2025 high, October, the 618, where there's usually some kind of value in crypto, is 57,000, 40,000. There's probably a 50,000 in there as well. And we're still downtrending. And we haven't had a capitulation flash crash for a while. So somewhere in that 50,000, 45,000 range is where I'm looking to buy. If it doesn't crash, that's the bear scenario. If Bitcoin doesn't crash, then maybe I'll long if we break above like 65,000. So I'm playing those two ranges. Ethereum USD. Still in the downtrend, unfortunately. I will say a side note, I think crypto still has a life here. Digital currencies, blockchain is not over. AI just has to figure out a way to integrate crypto and blockchain into their systems. I believe maybe crypto will come back if AI agents start using cryptocurrencies to buy and sell. Or if to pay for AI, we could pay using crypto. I think that's available now, but it's just not a widespread payment method. So I think if AI just uses crypto somehow in the future, maybe it's going to take AI to mature 5 or 10 years, and then they start integrating crypto payments or crypto rewards or something like that with the crypto mining or crypto trading, and just merge the two. I think it's going to be wonderful. Just right now is if someone had their money to invest, it's better to invest in AI and memory pullbacks and dips rather than downtrending AI. Downtrending crypto. So it's better to invest in uptrending AI and not invest in downtrending crypto. To be very, very conservative, right? Here's a perfect example. Let's just use Ethereum. It's death crossed and the price is downtrending and the price is also negative 65% off. So instead of being contrarian, just being very logical and realistic, if I switch back to SNDK, we could see exact opposite times 50, right? This is a textbook uptrend. All EMAs are fanned out, open, uptrending. We have pullbacks. We have breakouts. Pullbacks to EMAs. We have breakouts all over the place. It just happened again, right? And sometimes the daily chart is not the right chart to look at. 4 hour oversold, 1 hour oversold. And just get in there, right? So if you look at this and flip to crypto, the writing's on the wall to me. I'm not interested in crypto until we hit rock bottom. Where's rock bottom for me? Usually 80 to 90% off. So $900 Ethereum to $500 Ethereum, that's where I'm probably going to buy. However, if we hit $1,000, maybe $1,200, $1,300 range, we can see in the levels of support on this left side. Maybe in these ranges. So there's not really much to say about crypto until it has some kind of utility use with artificial intelligence, AI. Another way to look at this purely from charts for all cryptos is just draw a trend line to the downside. And then until we break that trend line, we're not breaking out to the upside on most cryptos. There was a nice bounce on XLM, etc., but it looks like the downside target right here would be like almost $800 down here. So we have to break out above 2,000 to maintain the uptrend. We'll end here on the last two. That's a quick aside note. Solana is a little bit easier because I can Fibonacci the low to the high here. We lost that 618. That's actually not good historically. It's because people are just playing AI right now, trading and investing. We are still in this downtrend. And so where's the next level down? 65, 35. There's that old support of 20 and then $5. I'll buy $5 Solana. I'm interested in that. So right now, crypto, the play is, can we get oversold? Extreme oversold. It's not there yet. It's building, I believe, because I can see it forming on the weekly chart. The momentum is building. It is charging right now. What we need to see on a weekly chart is not just down on the price. I'll circle it for us. I need to see this in the price. In the white. Sideways moving price. Going from a downtrend crash to a sideways. This is where me and a couple other people, we longed our Solana, had a best trade in 23 to 24, 25 before AI took over, is that sideways price. So very logical, realistic. Is that happening right now? The answer is no. So I have to just keep waiting. I might have to wait one whole year, but the reward could be if Solana survives and they start becoming like AI agent currency or AI chatbot currency, then, or if there's like a meme coin revival, then there could be that hundreds of percent reward, maybe even a 10x reward after all the crash is over. So just have to just wait for that. XRP, this is interesting. The weekly 200 EMA is broken down to the downside. That's very bad. That's dangerous. So before we had this big boom, we had support at like 0.003. That was 2016, sorry. Let's use like 2020. Use 2020 to 2025. We lost that 618 as well. So the next level down would be 84 cents, 50 cents. And if it gets to 10 cent XRP, I will definitely want to buy that. But even more excited than low prices, like I was saying before, you need to see a sideways pattern. That's the more important than the actual price, is the pattern that we start uptrending again, and then all cryptos will come back to life and rally green. For now, it's all about patience. The big story is AI stocks. Chip stocks, how high can they go before we have a big pullback? This is a weekly chart, by the way. Then crypto, how low can it go until there's no sellers left? So same thing with AI. How high can we go until there's no buyers left? Then that's the top. Crypto, how low can we go until there's no more sellers left? And then that's the bottom. Okay, thank you for watching. Hope you have a nice weekend. Let's remember, for investing, trading, it's all about patience, risk management, emotional control. And sometimes when there's no trade or nothing to invest in at that time, to just manage our positions and just enjoy life, not on the computer. Thank you, and I'll see you next time.